Aw, animals.
How fire ants survive floods. People in and around the floodwaters from areas hit by Hurricane Harvey in Houston have begun to see colonies of floating fire ant rafts. To escape the rising water, fire ants quickly link together to form a raft. They lock their legs and bodies together tightly enough to trap air in the raft. The ants at the bottom are linked so closely together that no water can get through. The queen and the larvae are kept on top of the structure. The raft changes shape as it floats, with ants moving across the top and joining the stationary layer on the bottom. Fire ants can live in these structures for weeks or longer as they search for dry land.
They're everywhere!
Man survives 6 days in the Australian outback by eating ants. A recreational hunter in Australia defied all odds after he survived 6 days in the blazing heat of the Australian outback with no water and pretty much no food except for the insects he ended up living on. 62-year-old Reg Fogarty was last seen on October 7th when he and his brother Ray drove from their camp in Australia's Great Victoria Desert to hunt feral camels. Fogarty left the car his brother was driving to pursue a camel, and within the next few days, traveled 9 miles or 15 kilometers from where his brother last saw him. 6 days after his disappearance, police tracked Fogarty to underneath a tree where he'd been living on black ants for 2 days. Ants are high in protein. According to National Geographic, 3.5 ounces of ants contain 14 grams of protein, or about 25% of an average man's daily protein intake. With the desert's temperature reaching well over 98 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, police say that it was a miracle Fogarty survived as long as he did without food and water. Fogarty's wife Erilyn, who cried when she heard that he was found, told the Adelaide Advertiser that her husband survived thanks to the jungle survival shows he likes to watch on TV.
Deadly redback spider bites man down under. An Australian guy was somehow able to get himself to the hospital after getting bit on his Johnson by a venomous redback spider. Nature called on Wednesday morning as the 21-year-old construction worker in Sydney made his way to a porta potty. Unfortunately, while he was on the crapper, a redback spider decided to bite him right on his dick. The redback spider, closely related to the black widow spider, has a long red stripe on its abdomen. Its bite can cause severe pain, sweating, and nausea. But by the time paramedics arrived on scene, the man had already made it to the hospital on his own for treatment. He was later discharged from the hospital in stable condition. The redback spider could not be reached for comment. If you live in the northeastern U.S., trillions of these bugs are coming to a state near you. Do you remember 1999? No, we'd rather not. But these cute little bugs certainly do. It was when they left Earth to live underground. But now they're coming back. Trillions of cicadas are set to emerge from underground this year in several northeastern U.S. states. Their appearance follows a period of 17 years of living underground, sucking sap from tree roots. On appearance, they live up to 4 weeks and spend most of that time mating. While mating, the male clicks its abdomen and makes an acoustic sound to attract a female. The females respond by snapping their wings. After this, the female cicada lays hundreds of tiny eggs on tree limbs. When these eggs hatch, cicada nymphs fall from the tree and burrow into the ground. Here, they'll look for tree roots to feed on and then stay underground for up to 17 years. The last time cicadas emerged in the northeastern U.S. was 1999. Back in those dark days, we didn't have Facebook, Twitter, or even TomoNews. So who knows? Maybe they'll become sentient and we'll get a trillion new friend requests or subscribers. Yay?
Hawaiian bees getting a helping hand from Uncle Sam. The U.S. government has added 7 species of Hawaiian bee to the endangered species list. They are the first U.S. bee species to be protected under the Endangered Species Act. The 7 endangered species of bees live in many habitats on the Hawaiian Islands, including coastlines, wet and dry forests, and shrublands. Bees are vital to human beings as they are one of the world's major pollinators. Without bees pollinating, about 30% of the world's crops and 90% of wild plants would die. Bees are dying at an alarming rate on the mainland of the U.S. as well, with 20 to 40% of honeybee colonies disappearing every winter. Hawaiian yellow-faced bees are threatened by urbanization, fire, wild animals such as pigs and invasive ants, and plant species. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said the decision came after years of research. The new rule is effective on October 31st.